Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their ascension process. And today I'm going to share with you part 2 of my ascension energy update for the new moon and lunar eclipse happening August 21st, 2017. Part 1 was more of a general overview, and this part 2 is going to get a little bit more specific into some of the symptoms and again more tangible experiences you might be going through as a result of this general energy blasting the planet at this time. So it is my hope that this video will help you navigate this in maybe a more smoother way and optimize your ability to extract maximum amount of potential out of this incredible gateway we are passing through as we speak. So number 1, don't be alarmed if you're experiencing a ridiculous amount of speed in your life. Just so much to do and not nearly even remotely close to enough time to get it all done. You might be just flying by the seat of your pants every day. That's how I felt this whole week. Just, it's hard to even say what it was or what things came in there. It's just, it felt like I could not keep up with the demands of my life. And it was just like, the second I would finish something, I'd be tired, but I'd have to move right on to the next thing. And it was just like I was going all day. And then nighttime would roll around and I still felt unaccomplished, yet I was working my butt off all day. And I'd go to sleep and I'd wake up unrested and have to do it over and over again. That's okay, that's just part of it, man. There's an acceleration of energy, and that's going to play out in you, in your consciousness blossoming, and that's also again extended into your physical life experience. So it can feel like there's a lot that you're working on and doing and completing and finishing up and starting, but that's kind of also just a metaphor for what's all that's happening on the inside. And though it's tiresome, but it's efficient, it's fast. We're getting from a place in our life where maybe there are some things that are not ideal and we'd like to change and improve upon, and we're going into this improved state of being very, very quickly. And speed and feeling like you're being kind of falling behind is just it's kind of an obvious byproduct of going somewhere quickly. But going somewhere quickly, you are. Number 2 is there is just more, I believe, more of this new energy, this ascension energy than ever before on the planet. There's a greater quantity and potency and concentration than ever. And you're feeling it. It's going to be experienced in a myriad of different ways, all of the different ascension types of awakening symptoms. You're likely going to be cycling through at a greater rate than ever before. So I'm going to go through a few of the like 4 or 5 ones that you might be going through right now, in case some of you are new and you might feel a little bit alarmed maybe by it. Just you'll know that it's actually a good sign and indicative of you processing a lot of this energy. So don't be surprised if you feel this. You might feel extremely sensitive to your own emotions, like they're louder and have more of a potency and a pop to them, as well as the moods of other people, just your perception of people's aura, whether it be positive or negative. It'll be very obvious and almost like a physical experience, even from a distance to you. You just might feel like the raciness of life is more, it's like disorienting almost. Just there with this greater influx of energy is a spike also in your sensitivity, your perception, your empathy. And it can temporarily, as you adjust, feel overwhelming, like information overload from all angles, but it'll settle down and become your new normal, and your psychicness will have been kicked up a notch, which is a massive, just an awesome, positive thing. But allow yourself the time to adjust. Consequently, you might also feel a lot of fatigue. Fatigue is also a good sign many times, in my opinion. Oftentimes you feel tired after a big breakthrough. Right now there's so much awareness and you're struggling to work on yourself, and emotions are purging out of you. And as you clean up vibrationally, you'll feel more, you'll have these little temporary like highs. I used to call it being high on spirit, where you just feel really, really good, really, really light, really, really high vibrational. And then really, really tired, because that energy also takes some getting used to. But nonetheless, the fact that you're having more of it is an amazing thing. You'll probably feel high highs, ecstatic expansions, and low lows, really uncomfortable contractions, and you're gonna be like whoosh, 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 whoosh the whole time, not in predictable intervals. You'll just be all over the place. There's a lot going on, you're purging a lot, new energies coming in, tiring you out, more blockages surface, you deal with them very quickly. It's just like, it's nutty. So you might feel really unstable, really unbalanced, mentally, emotionally, physically. But again, that's part of the speed, that's part of the influx of energy, and that's also just a fantastic thing. You just do your best. Know that it's not going to always be so crazy and racy, and you're not going crazy, even though you might feel like you are 3 or 4 times each day, intermixed with periods of, no, I'm not crazy, this is all happening, man, I feel amazing, and I see where this is all going, and I'm waking up, and a positive vibe, and you're gonna be all unbalanced like that, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if most of you feel that way to some extent. You'll probably, a lot of you, notice an increase of the more unusual and extras, what's the word I'm looking for, not paranormal, but just different Ascension type symptoms, such as seeing auras, seeing colors, seeing flashes, ringing in your ears, heart palpitations, energy. You might feel the presence of your Kundalini, your energy, just more loud and moving in your body. You might have more wild, like psychic sort of experiences. It's all of that kind of stuff, which usually happens at fairly more calmer and easy to I don't know, wrap your mind around intervals. It might be happening a little bit more. So all of that combined can lead to quite a nutty experience, and almost in some people maybe like a little bit of panic, which I'm not saying I predict you'll feel panic, but some people might have that response to the acceleration. And if that's you, all you got to do, man, is just let go, breathe, and there's really nothing you have to do, because you got this, you're fine. It can just, your mind can sometimes get swept away with the intensity of all this, and then it can make you feel like you can't handle it. But that's just an illusion, and if you just take even a minute to step back, sit down, and breathe, you'll be like, okay. You'll feel instantly better, so don't worry, you got this. But there's just a lot going on right now. To help balance all of that, you'll probably have your synchronicities will probably be on frickin' overdrive like never before. You might be just really, your mind might be blown by just how much of the synchronous coincidences are just spilling into your life. It's almost like becoming kind of dreamlike at times. Like, how, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It's like everything's kind of blending, and there's this it's hard to even really put into words, but I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. Just when lots of synchronicities happen, it's awesome, it's confirming, and at the same time, it's like, wow, this shit's getting very, very real. But luckily, those synchronicities usually can have a calming effect. Like, it's okay, you're good, see, you're good. Number 3, don't be surprised if you have some pretty freaking big manifestations. They might just sneak up on you. You might just wake up and realize, wow, I've been like working at this thing so long, I kind of forgot that there was ever a time that I expected it to manifest, and here it is. It's interesting. So it's so much out with the old going on. At the same time, you're quickly making room for the new, and because of all the speed and the acceleration, new big positive manifestations, whether they be like some kind of life situation or a relationship or some kind of advancement in your life, just something very positive relative in relation to you and your own individual path, that next you might find yourself taking a big step forward in life in some way. And that's awesome, man. That's kudos to you. Great job. There was one more thing I wanted to say about that I knew I forgot something. Anyway, so with these big manifestations, sometimes they can be like so big that they're almost scary. Like when you work really hard or you're pushing for something for so long and then it finally gets there, you realize that your life is really starting to change in a big way and it can feel like it's getting away from you a little bit. I had this experience yesterday, which is why I brought it up. It's kind of like I've been working on my YouTube channel, right, for quite a while. And I had this situation several months back, like beginning of the year, where I had a video. They call it, in like the YouTube lingo, they call it popping. I had a video pop, where for a little while it was on the front page of YouTube out of, I don't know how many millions of videos are on YouTube, but it was on the front page. So it just skyrocketed my YouTube subscriber count and the action my channel was getting. There was one day I had 1,500 new subscribers in one day. But then I messed it up big time. I tweaked the title on it, not knowing that resets all that momentum, and then it died back down. So I was very disappointed, obviously. So I've been really working hard, really just trying to improve everything and just get better and better and better and put out a lot of videos. I've been really working hard to get that spike again. And I'm having like another one of those spikes. Yesterday I realized that one of my videos is kind of popping. Not to that same degree, but there's a real momentum going with my channel. And I can see I can see where it's going. It's getting big again at this, like a faster rate. And when I realized that, even though I've been working so hard for it for so long and really just dealing with the ups and downs and the lulls, and finally it's like happening, I felt, instead of joy and excitement and pride, I felt a lot of anxiety. I felt like, oh man, are you sure this is what you want, man? You've been pushing for this. And I felt really like questioning, like, is this what you want? Because it's happening now. And it's almost like there's no turning back. This is, I can see now I've chosen to go in this direction in my life. And I've gotten enough footing to where it's becoming very real and really kind of taking everything over. Not in a bad way, but it's becoming like, yeah, it's manifesting in a very big, life-changing way. But there was that doubt, like, is this what you want? Is this authentic? Is this blah, blah, blah? Anyway, so you might have that kind of, oftentimes when I go through stuff, people also are going through that, and that's how I usually get my ideas. I don't have some spirit guide that tells me what to say in the videos. I oftentimes just sort of share about my own experiences in a somewhat metaphorical way, because that's just my technique that happens to usually be in sync with your guys' lives. So you might have some sort of similar situation, as I mentioned, in your own life. But I concluded very quickly that I realized that all that anxiety was just a fear. The whole fear of success, the fear of getting what you want, that is a very real thing. And I experienced that in kind of a potent way just because of how intense everything is. It was like almost like I was like panicking and had like a little mini panic attack or something. But I did what I suggested earlier in the video, where I just chilled. I went home. I played my little singing bowl. Did a couple of yoga stretches. Just sat there. I was like, yeah, dude, what are you complaining about, man? That's what you want. Good, good. And then I got excited again. It was all over. But so anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you in case you're going through that. So if you find yourself manifesting big things and getting maybe a little freaked out about it, then just take some time to let it absorb, because big changes in our life, both good and bad, do take time to process in our psyche. Number 4, you might find yourself temporarily overreacting to certain situations. Hence, emphasizing the word temporarily. And I'll give you an example, because that doesn't sound like much of anything what I just said, I realize. So my wife, she is a beautiful woman. If you guys have seen her, she's gorgeous. But she's dealt with like self-image issues for a lot of her life. And like me, I come from kind of a troubled past. So did she in her own way. But anyways, she's been really working hard on her fitness and getting lean and healthy and working out. And she comes from so a lot of her people in her family she comes from a family of obesity. So her getting really in good shape, it's not easy. Where it comes kind of natural to some people, it's not for her. She's been really dealing with her genetics and also her conditioning. Well, anyways, she's there. She's kind of achieved her goals, kind of like me in a similar way. But the other day, she realized she was running late to her spin class. She does spins, like a cardio workout. It's one of the things she does to kind of help maintain her fitness and so forth. And she said that initially when she realized she was going to be late for it, she got all worked up and panicky and like frantic, like really just stressed out about it. And like it was like a really emotional crisis to her. But she has enough of that awareness that I've been talking about in the other my part 1 and also a little bit here, enough of that awareness to say, you know what? That's not really relevant. Even though I temporarily overreacted emotionally to not being able to go to a stupid spin class, it's not empirically a big deal at all. I'm feeling great about myself. I've already hit my goals, and there's like a time I can go a little bit later. It's really no big deal, but we have these emotional patterns that might just present themselves to you in a more obvious way. And initially you like get absorbed in them and start to take action from them, but there's a sufficient level of that consciousness to where you can stop yourself and say, that's not, thank goodness, that's not who I am anymore. I'm not that person. I don't really need to continue to respond this way. So that's an overall extremely positive experience. Just be on guard, be really aware and meditative and ground yourself so you can become aware of these old patterns on their last limb playing out. And even though they're on their last limb, they might play out for a moment in a very big way, but now you're at a time, you're at a much higher level of mastery, and you'll be able to see it for what it is and then finally put that to rest. Number 5, maybe if there was one major theme, it would be just one hell of a purge that most of us are going through, a vibrational purge. And a vibrational purge, what does that even imply? That it means a purge. That means a purge of anything in your life, in your body, in your aura, in your consciousness, that is not in harmony with your true soul essence. It's being purged out because it's time for the real you, the soul you, to take ownership of your vehicle and your life. But for it to become firmly established and assimilated, there's got to be a lot of expelling of all that which is obscuring it. That sounds really interesting and nice, Vic, but the experience of the purge is sort of being manifested in all the different things I've been talking about this whole time. It's not easy, it feels racy, it can be uncomfortable. You might have times where you feel incredibly blocked and stuck horribly, and that's just because of the pressure your soul is putting on all that stuff. And you might have these habits that cling temporarily or insist on seeing a situation in a certain way, but that soul is going to press on it so hard that you're not going to be stuck for long. You might have that period of the intense stuckness, but it's a time where you really can't keep it down. You cannot keep yourself down anymore. Who you are is coming into you now, and there's nothing that can stop it. Only there might be temporary hiccups. And so essentially, your soul's rearing its head and pushing away all that is obscuring it so that it can start to take more control of your life in a conscious way, which is going to allow you to easily build the life you want in a very fun and joyful and, in a sense, effortless way. Because your soul is tapped in, turned on, very wise. It always knows what to do. And it's starting to be present now. Number 6, you might have the feeling that your whole life has been building and it is coming together in this right now, and all kind of intersecting right here, right now. The possibility for true enlightenment is becoming, I think, now a potential. For a while, there was the potential for people to get on the path. But now I think we are pressing into a new phase where the possibility for more of abiding in this awakened, enlightened state, more of a truer and fuller deeper transcendence of the ego was becoming, at the very least, a potential. And you might just have that feeling like your life is almost wrapping itself up. Like you can look back and everything you've done and all of the pursuits you've had have led you here to this realization that it's not about what you've been doing. A lot of your life, in a sense, was a waste of time because you've been searching through all these different relationships and these different jobs and these different situations and clothes and it's all out there. And you might just have a greater sense that it's not to be found out there. What you've been looking for isn't out there. You might find that you've changed some things in your life and you've gotten what you wanted in a sense at times, and you still feel the same. There's that fundamental feeling of seeking that is keeping you away from what's already there. So that's what I have to say, my friends, about this time period. I have nothing but faith and love for you all. And I really, truly, more than words can express, appreciate you. I appreciate the camaraderie. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your love and your support. And I appreciate you being in existence and giving me a kick-ass, extremely diverse melting pot of unique, awesome people that I get to talk to on a daily basis. So thank you. I wish you well with this. I know you guys are going to rock and roll. It might be kind of tough because of the speed and so forth, but you guys are on that leading edge. You're riding that wave, and that wave is finally lifting us high enough to where we can see a whole new world is opening up before us. And I wish you well, and I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing day. Namaste.